guys, today we're talking about how do you know if a girl wants you to approach her? Are there signs that she gives to let you know you can approach her? I recently did a video on how to approach a girl without being a creep, but I didn't talk about when. So you guys, rightfully so, started asking me, how do you know if you should be approaching the girl? Because you obviously don't want to enter a situation where she was clearly giving signs that she doesn't want to be bothered. So let's talk about that today. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is there are different scenarios for this. So if you're at a bar or lounge, girls are more likely to give you signs that she wants you to approach them. Basically because a lot of people do go to bars and lounges to potentially be talked to. Of course, not all girls want to be talked to. Of course, girls are taken can go to these places, but it's more likely that if a single girl goes and she wants attention, she will give you clues and signs, so it's easier seen there. Now, there's a lot of advice out there about what a girl will give or show in those kind of environments. And I'm gonna quickly say it's things like glancing at you, staying around your area for a long time. If she's kind of in the same bar, she's kind of near you and stays in that vicinity. It's always the smiles. If she not only looks at you, but she smirks at you, signs like that. But once again, you can find that advice anywhere, and I quite honestly agree. But what I want to talk about today is more for those cold approaches. So at a Starbucks, at a park, people aren't always going there to find someone, but it can happen. So are there even signs when you are in those public locations that are more for cold approaches? Yes and no. So my rule of thumb is it's always a green light until or unless it's obvious it's a red light. So what does that mean? That means if girls that are going grocery shopping, they're not going to go there and make sure she glances at you and make sure that she gives you a smile. They're just kind of going about their day. Now, that doesn't mean she doesn't want to be talked to. It's just not expected that someone would talk to them. And trust me when I say, women love the story. They absolutely love the story of being able to say a guy approached her at a coffee shop or a grocery store and you guys really hit it off. A lot of the movies done that, right? So don't think that girls never want that to happen. Girls just don't want to be approached by creepy people. And that goes back to my other video. What makes you creepy is your approach. So as long as your approach isn't creepy, friendly, kind, and ladies who are ready to be in a relationship will respond to you. They will. And if they don't respond to you, if they give you a very cold response, that's on them, not you. A lot of times it comes from a history of not so great relationships or dealing with not so great men. So no, that's not about you if you know you're doing your best. And if she decides to be rude to you, you kind of don't want that person in your life anyways. So when is a good time to approach? Most of the time. As long as she's not wearing headphones, that's not a good time to approach. So if she's wearing headphones, if she's in a group with other people, or if she looks like she's very preoccupied and busy. So obviously she's in a rush, she's not standing still, you can tell she's a little scattered, it's not a good time to approach. So those are the three, signs that are not a good time to approach. So there's no big rule on, here are the top 5 signs on when to approach. I don't want you to focus on that because I've seen so many stories where girls didn't really give a sign, but it just happened. And when they're approached by friendly people or men, they'll respond. So I want you more to focus on, as long as she's not doing those 3 signs to look out for, go for it. You'll never know. You cannot wait for the perfect timing because that actually doesn't exist in those kind of environments. And I'm gonna say it again. The 3 signs to not approach is 1, where she's wearing headphones. Now, there is a small exception on that. You can ask her a question if you are very, very curious about something that's going on. That's related to you. So that's like if she's wearing headphones and reading a book, but you saw that she's reading a book that you really relate to and is very unique, it's okay to tap her on the shoulder and ask, sorry to interrupt you, but I saw you reading this book. I rarely see anybody read it. Do you like it? Or what brought you to it? It's totally fine. I've seen it happen. This happened to me before when someone has approached me with headphones in, but I wasn't angry because he actually asked a question that is valid and he was interested in it, right? So other than that though, you want to stay away from it. Usually it means that people are in the zone, focused on their own thing. Number 2 is when someone is in a rush. That's actually number 3, but I kind of mixed it out of the order. So when someone's in a rush, obviously they're focused on getting out and getting their things done. So as long as she's not frantically running around trying to find things, then you're fine. But usually you can tell when someone's kind of like really busy and also on the clock. Now, the last one is when they're with a group of friends. Sometimes people want to challenge themselves and approach someone with friends, but the reason why I say no is because a lot of times if you approach a girl when she's surrounded by people, she's not being authentic. She's thinking about everybody else, listening in and potentially judging and wondering and worrying about what they're thinking. So I would just not suggest that. Now, if you still wanted to try, I can create another video on that because that's a different kind of approach. But like I said, normally, unless you have other friends that can distract the other friends, but that would be kind of odd because you're doing, in this kind of situation, it's more like an errand you do alone, but that's a different story. So once again, I would say stay away from groups or else you're just dealing with too many people and she's also not being completely authentic because she's thinking about everybody else. All right, I hope this helps you guys in your approach journey and knowing when to approach a girl. And I challenge you to get out there. What I want you to do is comment below and tell me, what are you going to challenge yourself to do? What places are you going to try to talk to ladies? Try it out because you'll never know until you do. Thank you for watching.